All right, let's dive into fundraising today. We're going to be learning from Michael Kessler. He's the CEO of Sleek Incorporated. He was on the Devlin Diaries podcast with his CTO.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, he does not hold back.
No, he does not.
So this is going to be good. He starts out talking about his own fundraising journey.
Mm.
And like a lot of entrepreneurs, he started by tapping into his network. Friends, family.
Right.
He even had a rich uncle who came in with a
Nice.
nice little investment, right? But he says having a great idea is not enough.
Oh, this is so
You
important.
need a vision.
Yes, so true. It's like you can have a great ingredient, but you need a recipe if
Right.
you want to make a 5-star meal.
Yeah.
So a vision is like the recipe. It shows investors how you'll take that idea and turn it into an actual business.
And he used the example of Tesla. So you have electric cars, that's the idea.
Yeah.
But to be a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars, you need a vision. Like Elon Musk's vision for Tesla was and is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
And that gets investors excited.
They want to be a part of something big.
Absolutely. So then Michael starts talking about the different stages of fundraising,
Oh, yeah.
like pre-seed and seed funding.
Right.
What does all this even mean?
I know, it can sound really complicated, like a whole other language.
Okay.
But think of it this way, okay? Pre-seed funding is like the initial spark to get a fire going.
Okay.
You're proving the idea have legs, maybe getting some early traction, building a prototype.
Okay.
Then you have seed funding. That's like adding fuel to the fire.
I like that.
Right. You can scale up, develop the product further, start building a team.
So why should someone who's not even fundraising care about this?
Because it gives you a framework, like how to think about business growth.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a side hustle. You want to make it a full-time business,
Yeah.
Knowing about these stages can help you think about a path, even if you're not looking for outside investment.
Okay. So you've got your vision. You're starting to think about the stages of growth. How do you actually get investors on board? What are they looking for? Okay, so Michael says the first thing they want to see is that you're solving a real problem.
Sure.
And not just any problem, a big problem.
Right.
And this is where TAM comes in. Total addressable market.
TAM. Yeah.
Imagine you're a fisherman. You could fish in a small pond, or you could fish in the ocean.
Right.
Which one has the potential to yield a bigger catch?
The ocean.
Exactly. TAM is like the size of the ocean. It represents the total revenue potential of the market you're targeting. So the bigger the TAM, the more attractive your business is going to be to investors.
Okay, so it's not just about having a cool idea. It has to address a large enough market
Yes.
to justify a significant investment.
Exactly. But, and Michael makes this point really strongly, it's not just about the problem or even the solution.
Okay.
Ultimately, investors are investing in people.
People, right.
They want to see a strong team with experience, passion, the grit to execute on that vision.
He even shared a story about a pitch where the company's key differentiator turned out to be just a foreign word they used to sound more sophisticated.
Oh, I remember that one. You have to truly understand what makes you unique.
Yeah.
Your value proposition.
What makes you stand out?
Yeah. Investors want to see you've thought this through, and you're not just dazzling them with jargon.
So you need a solid team,
Yes.
compelling vision,
Uh-huh.
clear understanding of your market.
Hmm.
But even with all of that, Michael is very upfront about the fact that rejection is part of the process.
Oh, yeah.
He says you have to develop thick skin and learn from every no you get.
That's great advice, even outside of business.
Yeah.
Right? Rejection's inevitable.
Yeah.
But it can be valuable if you're willing to learn from it.
Right. He even warns about investors who might try to just pump you for information
Right.
without any intention of actually investing.
Oh, yeah.
So he says it's crucial to do your due diligence
Your homework, yeah.
on potential investors,
Mhm.
just as they're doing their due diligence on you.
Right.
Make sure their values align with yours and they have a genuine interest in your success.
Mhm.
He also had some really practical advice about knowing your numbers.
Mhm.
I feel like that's something a lot of creative entrepreneurs, they kind of shy away from that.
Yeah, they do.
But he makes a really compelling case for why it's so important.
Yeah.
So he talks about unit economics
Yeah.
and customer acquisition cost.
Right.
These are metrics that can make or break a business,
Absolutely.
no matter how brilliant the idea is. So imagine you're running a bakery.
Okay.
You're selling these amazing cupcakes
Okay, yeah.
by $5 each.
Sounds great.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what if it costs you $6 in ingredients and labor to make each cupcake?
Oh,
You're losing money
Yeah, you're losing money on every sale.
on every sale.
Mm.
So that's why understanding unit economics
It's so important.
is so important.
Yeah.
You need to know how much it costs to produce and sell each unit
Each one.
of your product or
Yeah,
service.
right.
And are you actually making a profit? He uses the example of Casper, the mattress company.
Oh, yeah.
They had this huge marketing push. Everyone was talking about them.
Yeah, everyone had a Casper mattress.
But they had a really high return rate.
Yeah, people were sending them back.
People weren't happy with the mattresses. They were sending them back.
It's a big problem.
That highlights the importance of the other key metric, customer acquisition cost.
Yeah.
It's great to acquire new customers,
Yeah.
but if it costs you a fortune to do so, and they're not sticking around,
Yeah, then what are you doing?
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Kessler learned that lesson the hard way. They spent a ton of money acquiring customers, but they didn't pay enough attention to customer satisfaction, retention.
Right.
Ultimately, their business model wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
So knowing your numbers isn't just about crunching numbers.
Right.
It's about understanding the story those numbers are telling you about your business.
Exactly.
Are you pricing your product correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Are you acquiring customers in a cost-effective way? Are those customers happy enough to keep coming back?
Those are important questions.
Those are the questions every entrepreneur needs to be asking.
I agree.
So let's say you've navigated the fundraising landscape. You've pitched your heart out.
You got it.
You've got an investment offer on the table.
What do you do?
What does Michael have to say about that?
Let's hear it.
He says, don't just jump at the first offer that comes your way. He stresses the importance of finding the right fit.
Right.
He even compares choosing an investor to choosing a life partner.
Oh, wow.
It's a big decision
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
because you're going to be working closely with these investors.
Yeah, through thick and thin.
Sharing your wins and losses,
Yeah.
navigating challenges together.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
It's got to be a relationship built on trust,
Absolutely.
mutual respect, a shared vision.
So important.
So he talks about different types of investors out there, like angel investors
Right.
and venture capitalists.
Yeah.
What's the difference and why does it matter?
Okay, so angel investors are typically individuals
Okay.
investing their own personal funds,
Okay.
usually in early stage companies.
Okay.
They often bring not just money, but also valuable experience and connections.
Right.
Venture capitalists, on the other hand,
Yeah.
they manage funds from multiple investors.
Got it.
They tend to invest in later stage companies, companies with higher growth potential.
Okay.
They often take a more active role in the companies they invest in, providing guidance,
Yeah.
mentorship, sometimes even operational support.
So it's not just about the money. It's about the kind of relationship you're entering into
That's right.
and the level of involvement that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
He also talks about crowdfunding
Oh, yeah, crowdfunding.
as a newer avenue for raising capital.
I think a lot of people are curious about that.
He's pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
It can level the playing field, give
Well,
entrepreneurs more options
definitely.
beyond the traditional VC route.
Yeah.
He mentioned some potential advantages, like potentially more favorable terms,
Right.
the ability to issue different types of stock.
Crowdfunding has really changed things, you know?
Yeah.
Democratized access to capital
Yeah.
allows everyday people to invest in companies they believe in
Yeah.
and become part of something exciting. For businesses, it's a great way to not just raise funds,
Right.
but build a community around your brand.
Imagine having hundreds, even thousands of people
I know, it's amazing.
who are not just investors, but also passionate advocates
Totally.
for your product or service.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
It is.
But he does caution that anyone considering crowdfunding should understand the regulations,
Yes, very.
evolving regulations surrounding it.
They can be complex.
It's definitely an area where you want to do your homework,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're operating within the legal guidelines.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's say you've successfully raised capital.
You did it.
You popped the champagne,
Yeah.
celebrated with your team.
It's time to celebrate.
Now you have this big chunk of change
Right.
sitting in your bank account.
Now what?
This is where Michael gets really real.
Okay.
He says the post-fundraising phase can actually be the most challenging time for a company.
Oh, wow.
He advises entrepreneurs to treat the funds raised as if it's the last money they'll ever get.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a pretty sobering thought,
It is.
especially after all the work it took to get the funding
Right.
in the first place.
You would think it gets easier.
But there's a wisdom to that mindset.
I see what he's saying.
It forces you to be incredibly disciplined
Right.
with your spending, to prioritize your resources, and to focus relentlessly on execution.
Stay focused.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement,
Yeah, you want
a
to,
successful fundraising round,
yeah, spend some money.
and start throwing money around.
Right.
But that's often how companies fail.
Yeah, you get distracted.
So he also talks about the importance of maintaining transparency
Yeah.
and open communication with your investors.
Yeah. Keep them in the loop.
Even, or perhaps especially, when things aren't going according to plan.
That's a good point.
Because your investors are your partners in this journey.
Yeah, they're on the journey with you.
They want to see you succeed.
Right.
But they also understand that there will be bumps along the way.
It's not always going to be easy.
Being upfront about challenges, setbacks, or the need to adjust course, that builds trust and credibility.
Absolutely.
He warns against making decisions based on emotion,
Stay calm.
and instead emphasizes the need for data-driven decision-making.
Let the numbers guide you.
He even shares a story about how sliQue had to pivot their entire business model.
Oh, wow, really?
They realized the market they were targeting wasn't big enough
They had to change directions.
to support their ambitious growth plans.
Interesting.
So that's a great example of how pivoting isn't a failure.
It's not giving up.
It's a sign of a company's willingness to adapt and evolve
Yeah, you got to be flexible.
based on market reality.
The market's always changing.
It takes courage to admit that your initial plan isn't working
It's hard to let go,
and to make a significant change.
but sometimes you have to.
He encourages listeners to be open to the twists and turns of the entrepreneurial journey, acknowledging that it's rarely a straight line to success.
The roller coaster ride.
So it sounds like his approach to entrepreneurship is all about being flexible,
Yeah.
adaptable, and never giving up on your vision,
Right.
even when you have to adjust the path to get there.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting? Even though we've been talking about fundraising and startups,
Yeah.
a lot of what Michael says applies to any goal,
That's so true.
any project.
Like that idea of having a vision,
Yes.
not just an idea,
It's so powerful.
that resonates with me no matter what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Planning a vacation, writing a song, even just trying to declutter my closet,
Yeah.
having a clear sense of the end result
Right.
makes everything so much smoother.
Yeah. Absolutely. And think about his point about knowing your numbers.
Right.
It's not just for businesses.
Right.
Let's say you're trying to save for a down payment on a house.
Right.
You need to know your income,
Yeah.
your expenses, how much you can realistically save each month.
Yeah.
It's about having a plan, tracking your progress, making adjustments.
And that idea of building a strong team.
Oh, so important.
Co-founders, advisors, mentors,
Yeah.
even just supportive friends and family.
Your support system.
That's invaluable.
It really is. Having people you trust to bounce ideas off of, challenge you, celebrate your wins,
Yeah.
help you through those tough times.
It makes all the difference.
Huge difference.
So even if you're not launching a startup anytime soon,
Yeah.
I think there's so many valuable takeaways here
Oh, tons of great advice.
from Michael's experience.
Michael's the best.
All right, listeners, we encourage you to check out the full episode of Devland Diaries with Michael and Sina.
Yes, do it.
We'll include a link in the show notes.
And as you're listening,
Yeah.
think about how you can apply these lessons
To your own life.
to your own projects, your own dreams.
What's your vision? What are your key metrics for success?
Great questions.
Are you prepared to pivot when the path demands it?
Gotta be ready to pivot.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing,
Keep going.
and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.